from the Energy Boutique with your energy forecast for Wednesday, September 8th. So the moon is going to be in Libra. It moved into Libra 12:21 a.m., again Atlantic Standard Time. So we are going to have a fun-filled day with the beautiful, peaceful, harmonious, balanced energy of Libra. There are 9 different aspects taking place today, and 7 of them involve the moon. We are still in the dark season, the dark phase of the moon. We haven't seen that beautiful little crescent moon appear in the night sky as of yet. We're still putting the pieces together. We're still resting. We're still recharging from that very powerful new moon in Virgo on Monday. We are coming a little bit more to life today, though, especially compared to yesterday. And this Libran energy wants us to find our grounding point once again, especially emotionally, especially in our mental plane. Yes, we were hit with quite a doozy with the push and pull, with the tug of war going on with the new moon in Virgo. And now the moon in Libra wants to come and lighten the mood a little bit, wants to get our physical bodies up and moving, especially compared to the last couple of days, wants us to get our heart and our head in agreement again, and quite honestly, just wants to pull us out of the extreme emotional, mental low that many of us get in with the new moon energy and just dry us off a bit. Just put us on stable ground just a tad in order for us to see that, you know what, that needed to happen so that we can move forward. Right out of the gate, we have Mercury, the ruler of the mental plane, in Libra. Okay, so we have the moon in Libra and Mercury in Libra. This is our emotions and this is our thoughts. Opposing Chiron, the wounded healer. So here's the thing. Right now, Mercury in Libra opposing Chiron, who is retrograde in Aries, illuminating for us our ego and identity wounds. Mercury in Libra just wants to push us to heal the mind, push us to align the mind with the heart space, push us to find balance in our emotions, because of course that new moon energy did a number on us. Now this is going to really put us in a position where if we are put in the position where we need to speak our truth, where we need to communicate our feelings to another party, we are being encouraged to do so. We've had a lot of realizations, a lot of illuminations really take place, especially in our energy exchanges in our relationship dynamics. And we've been biting our tongue. We've been, stepping back and being reflective and trying to come up with solutions before we go ahead and speak on it. But now we're actually being encouraged to do what is necessary to regain balance, to regain connection, to meet in the middle. And this is going to put us in a very, very vulnerable place. Now, the moon is going to go ahead and make a very positive aspect with Jupiter, who is retrograde in Aquarius. Jupiter, of course, wants to push us outside of our comfort zones, wants us to grow, wants us to evolve, wants to expand past our particular position. Because Jupiter is retrograde in Aquarius, this is about vision. This is about progress. This is about being, innovative. This is about being a little bit more rebellious with what needs to happen in our day-to-day life for us to feel like we are on the right track, like we are making the right moves, that we are growing, that we are seeing the progress. This is really going to illuminate for us where it is that we have to be a little bit more optimistic. Jupiter, of course, wants to renew our faith within ourselves, within the universe. He wants to be our hype girl and really show us the possibilities, the opportunities that await us. And especially coming out of the darker, lower vibrational energies that the new moon would have triggered for us, this is how we build ourselves up again. The moon trines the true node, our destiny point, which is definitely going to help us reflect, to re-edit, restructure, reorganize, and rework some of our thoughts and some of our emotions that have got illuminated to us when we were sitting in our darkness. This is going to show us where we've grown. This is going to show us where it is that progress has taken place. This is going to show us where it is that we have bossed up, and we're going to be able to celebrate our soul growth and aligning now, looking towards the future, renewed in our faith, pumping us up to go ahead to take action when the universe gives us the green light go. The moon is also going to trine Saturn, the Lord of Karma, who is also retrograde in Aquarius. This is going to give us a beautiful, beautiful framework to recognize where it is that we are getting a grip on our emotions. We're getting a grip in our mental narrative. We are bossing up and taking control over our inner realms so that we can feel grounded, centered, level-headed, level-hearted in order for us to prepare to see some major changes take place in our physical realities. Now, the moon is going to go ahead and bump into Uranus. Now, Uranus is the great awakener. He tends to shock us. He tends to awe us. He tends to disrupt our thinking, our routines, our emotions in order to illuminate for us what is possible, busting us out of our comfort zone, pushing us into a corner for us to fight back for what it is that actually matters. Uranus was a key major factor in this new moon in Virgo, opening up our minds, forcing us to adapt to change a little bit more easily than what it is that we would have done even this time last month. And the moon making this aspect with Uranus, who is retrograde, who is in Taurus, is going to give us a moment of genius. What it is that we need in our heart space, what it is that we need in our mental plane, what it is that we need in our lives to feel free, to feel independent, to feel in control of our choices, of our decision, and of our path forward. Just as we get this huge surge of energy pushing us forward, illuminating for us a shift in our mental plane, just as we take a step in the positive energy, we have those darker forces trying to hold us back. Here's the thing, the moon is going to be bumping into Jupiter again, but this time it's not so quaint. It's not so positive. It's not so much of a pep talk. There's a tension here because we recognize that we want more. We just had this illumination where we want more for ourselves, more in our love life, more in our money matters, more in our stability, more change taking place in our physical realms. We get fixated on all of the elements that we want more of. But this pressurizes us. It puts us in a situation where we're focused on the lack. We can slip into the scarcity mindset, recognizing, I want more of that because I don't have that now. I don't have love. I don't have stability. I don't have financial stability. I don't have freedom. I don't have independence. And this can become very overwhelming. Jupiter, of course, is a magnifier, turns the volume all the way up on whatever it is that we're going through. And if we move into this scarcity mindset, you best believe that our emotions and our mental narrative is going to really be emphasized on all of the things that we don't have. And we can slip into the poor me story, the victim story. We can get really down on ourselves. The moon opposes Chiron, ripping those wounds wide open. So the moon in Libra, although strives for balance, tends to live in extremes in order for us to find that. Because the moon is our emotions and our unconscious self, we tend to have extreme emotions take over in order for us to actively bring into awareness where we have to put more effort into finding a center point, finding a grounding point. Because we just got illuminated to all of the quote unquote more that we want, illuminating all of the stuff that we don't have right now, Chiron is going to illuminate where those wounds began, where the insecurities are, where the fears are, where the uncertainty is, where it is that we are now slipping into a narrative where we think we may not ever get the more that we want. We may never get the love, get the financial stability, get the dream, get the vision. Now we're overwhelmed with all of the fear of what if it doesn't happen. So we have a choice here. We're looking so far outside of ourselves for validation that things are going to be okay, that this is an opportunity for us to boss up, for us to stand in our power, for us to analyze the inner workings of our mental plane, of our heart space. We're still in Virgo season. We are still in the new moon Virgo energy that wants to pick apart the details of why it is that we are the way that we are, why it is we think and feel the way that we do, and what it is that we can do to come up with some solutions so that we don't have to stay in this place anymore. The moon goes ahead and sits next to, conjuncts Mercury, who is in Libra as well. This is going to be an opportune time to get our heart and our head back on the same page. The moon is our emotions. Mercury is our thoughts. We are kind of doing a dance between the light and the dark. We are living in extremes, both in our inner realms and in our exterior realms. Our mental plane is on the opposite end as our heart space. We know better. We can do better. Now we have to put forth the discipline that we have already learned to walk ourselves back to the middle ground. The moon conjunct Mercury in Libra is going to bridge the gap between our heart and our head, bridge the gap between the extremes that we're thinking and we're feeling, and put us in a good position to not only communicate with confidence and clarity, with optimism, with hopefulness within ourselves, but you best believe that if we are put in a position where somebody needs to hear what it is that we're thinking and we're feeling, we will not hesitate to have that conversation so that we can get back on the same page. The last thing that we want to do in Libran energy is to create more of a divide. If anything, we are going to be a little bit more predisposition to be vulnerable in order to not live in extremes, to not feel disconnected to our people, especially our personal relationships. We just want to smooth things over. We can mediate, we can compromise, we can cooperate, but we have to open our mind, we have to open our heart, we have to open our mouth in order to do that. When you talk about the gap between the heart and the head, where is the middle point? The mouth, the throat chakra. What do we do with the mouth and the throat chakra? We speak our truth. We express ourselves. We ask the right questions. We formulate new perspectives, new ideas, and we share them. Not everyone is a mind reader. We can't rely on other people picking up on our subtle energy cues. We have to bring our words to life. And this is going to be an ideal time to do so. Venus, who is in Libra, is going to be making a beautiful, harmonious aspect with Neptune retrograde in Pisces. So Neptune is the higher octave of Venus. Venus is the lower octave because she's focused on the physical now, the physical body, the physical relationships, the physical environment, the physical wants, the physical needs. Neptune is ethereal. It's spirit, it's soul, it's universe, it's divine. So when these two come together, there's a drive for peace. There's a drive for harmony, for unification between heart and head, between us and them. We are going to be working very hard on the collective scale over the next couple of months to close the gap in between the division that we are currently seeing, splitting the universe apart. And in our individual lives, we will be looking for peace, harmony, grounding, and centeredness within ourselves, between our own heart and our head, and then communicate that outward so that we can bridge the gap, we can lessen the extremes between who it is that we are and who it is that we want to share our lives with. This is going to bump up our affection levels. This is going to bump up our worth and our values. Why? Because we got illuminated to a lot of darkness that we don't want to sit in, we don't want to experience. And in order for us to move away from what it is we do not want, we have to make a change. We have to put ourselves out there. We have to act differently in order to break the behavioral pattern and chain of our ego from past scenarios. So this is also a very dreamy, a very illusionary type of energy. We're able to float off into la la land and really just fall in love, fall in love with peace, fall in love with harmony, visualize what new earth is going to look like, visualize what we would be doing right now if we weren't so freaking divided. okay? And I really hesitate. I'm going to go off on a mini rant here, okay? I'm sorry. I apologize. Forewarned. I purposefully do not bring religion, politics, the quote unquote pandemic, the world events into our conversations. Why? Because they are all man-made devices to divide us. They are constructs that the humans have made to divide humanity, okay? There's no place for it. Not here, not on my page, not on my channel. There's no place for it. This is a safe place where we have to recognize that we are more alike than we are different. Where we have to recognize that unification is the goal, not division. Where we have to respect the position, the beliefs of other people, and where it is that we have to respect the fact that the natural law of the universe trumps all. That is where we're at. So there's been a lot of people that have made comments on my page trying to talk about those issues, trying to banter back and forth. And although conversation is great, although it is okay to enter into challenging conversations with opposite opinions, if it is creating a low vibration, if it is creating more division, if it is creating hatred, fear, all of that gunk that I actively work so hard to eliminate from my conversation, from the conversations amongst the community, you will recognize that your comments will not be showing up. That is not the place. There are many light workers out there that love to create a platform for two opposing people, thoughts, feelings, perspectives to come together to hash it out. That is not what is happening here. We are all one. We are all together in this. I don't care what your stance is on anything. Everybody is having a right for their own perspective, their own choices, their own ideas, their own beliefs. But I am here to guide each and every single one of us to unification, to love, to peace, to harmony. So we are not about to sit here and talk about all the man-made divisions that we have created in this earthly realm to keep us further apart. That's not what this is about. And so I love the comments. I love the interaction. But if you are going to talk about those topics, you will see that you will not be showing up on my page in the discussion, because that is bringing a vibration that, you know what, you can go out into the world and find those lower vibrations everywhere. It is harder to find a safe place of unification of high vibratory energies. It is harder to find a safe place than it is to find a dangerous one. It is harder to find high vibrational people than it is to find lower vibrational people. So if that is what you're being called to do, if you want to debate, if you want to argue, if you want to stand very firm in your belief system and you do not feel the want, need, or desire to, challenge other people's positions, that's not what I'm trying to create here. And I'm not speaking about anyone individually. I'm saying that collectively, we are in this. We are all one. We have to make the efforts to come together, regardless of our beliefs, regardless of our thoughts, our ideas, our positions in life. Again, I'm here to highlight that there's more in common amongst all of us than there is in difference. So with all that being said, take this energy, Venus bumping into Neptune, dreamy, imaginative, where peace and harmony and love and balance can exist. We're thinking about new earth can exist. I want you to pour all the way into the high vibes of this energy, because this, when we align our consciousness, when we all are pouring into the same vibration, when we all unify for the same kind of cause, you best believe that is how we make some serious change here in this physical earth plane.